Hey everybody, I want to do a little tutorial today. It's not going to be that little. I want to make this electronic interface that you could use for, quizzing your students or whatever. And it's going to work like this. So you're going to have a question here, and when you want to check it, it's going to be a true false thing. You click this button over here, and you can see that it rotates, and if it rotates clockwise towards the true, that indicates that the answer to this question will be true. And you could also look at the EQ down here, and that'll say true. And when we come over to this next button, we'll go to the next question, and then we read the question. Lipase is released by the gallbladder and breaks down maltose into glucose. That'll be false. And so when you click this, you see that it would go counterclockwise towards the false, and you could also look at the EQ, and that would say false. Go to the next question. Try this. The esophagus connects the oral cavity to the first part of the small intestine, which is called the duodenum. So is that true or false? Well, let's find out. Click this, and you see it goes counterclockwise, and the EQ shows false as well. So this is a big tutorial, mostly on the graphics, and I am not a professional graphic artist, and so it would take a long time to do the graphics, and the code is not very difficult, and it's not overly flashy or anything. The only sort of animated stuff I've got right now is this stuff here, which is relatively cool, and the next button. You certainly could have lights blinking and a lot of other stuff happening, maybe the question fading in or scrolling, but I'm not going to do that in this tutorial. I'm just going to focus on getting this up and going, and that'll take quite a bit of time. But then, you could extend this and have, say, 10 questions or 15 questions, and it could be just something that you put on your website or you demonstrate to your class for something cool, for reviewing your science. And I'm doing this as a retired science teacher. I'm just doing this for fun, and if I got really serious, I might put more of this on my website, www.zerobio.com, and I certainly have plenty of Flash animations, quizzes and games and stuff like that. So I do this for fun, and if I come up with something that I really like, that I think the kids would like to do, I go ahead and I put it on my website. So I'm going to get started here and give this a shot. And if you're interested in watching me create this sort of audio interface Flash thing, because I'm a part-time musician as well, and if you know me from YouTube, look up Elliot Kimmel, which is my name, or zerobio, and you can see all my my music. And so I'm sort of very loosely basing this off of my Tascam USB audio interface that I use for recording. But obviously I've taken some liberties here, and it's very 2D, and I'm really into the black and white and gray these days. And so I thought I'd give it a shot. So I'm going to be working in Flash 8 Professional, so certainly haven't updated in a while, and I'm going to be using Actionscript 2. All right, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, let's see if I can get this happening. All right, so I'm just going to come over to a new file, and I've just started a new file here, and all I've done is I've taken an image of the previous one, so I could look at it once in a while if I want to, right here, and come back to it and try to get it kind of similar anyhow. So I'm going to change the frame rate right now to 30 frames per second, and I'm at 1280 by 720 pixels. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save it right away, and I'm going to save it into a little Flash folder here, and this is going to be True False Electronics Tutorial. So we are all set and ready to go. Hopefully I'm recording and I won't have any snags along the way. So I'm going to come up and create a new layer, and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, take off the fill, just use a stroke, and I'm going to do this at 3. And I want to make this interface here, so I'm just going to drag this out. And yeah, I guess I should have actually set the corner radius to start off, shouldn't I? Okay, so I'll try 30 and see what that looks like. I don't want it too rounded, but I don't want it too square. This could be like a rack mounted kind of thing. And let's see how similar that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm actually going to bump up this stroke to maybe 4. All right, so that's going to be the body of my interface, as you can see there. And I'm going to fill that, I think right now I'm going to fill it with white. And so everything's good. And now what I'll do, I think maybe I'll make the separations right now for the sections. Yeah, you can't really see them in that view, but actually I will be coming over to this one. So we've got 3 sort of panel-like sections just to sort of separate things out for myself. So, and I'm going to be doing this by eye. I'm not going to be doing this super accurately. That, you know, they don't have to be equal. So I'm just going to go to hairline, and let's see, you know, just drag that down there. Let's go a little closer here. Oops. Okay, that should be good. Let's go back out. And I can always move these and paste them in place. I'm not very good with my shortcut keys. I will admit that. Okay, so you know, just for the moment, that's going to be the general setup. So what I need to do is I need to make this screen here. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move this above because I don't like it, I guess, off to the side so much. So I can definitely come in and look at this. There we go. I got the lines. I'm going to be going for the main screen now. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And I think I will do it on another layer. And I'm going to call this body. And try to stay as organized as I can. And this is going to be the screen. And let's just do this. I'll come to slightly smaller curvature, and let's just give it a try. Now, I forget, what do I have? Okay, I've got those XLR things underneath there. And I certainly don't want hairline. I'm going to go for about 3. And move it up. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I might actually bump it up to 4. Just gives it a nicer, rounder kind of look. That's good for now. I might even make this 5. We'll see. That's going to be the generalities of the screen. So let's see what else we need to do. Okay, so I want to inset it. And I don't know if I want to go out or in. I think I'll go out. Okay, so I'm going to take this, copy, edit, paste in place, and transform. I'm going to go out a little bit, up a little bit, out a little bit more. And again, it's not going to look exactly like the other one. I think I'm going to want to put some screws out there, so I might need to go a bit more. And so I'll do this. Yeah, I'll just do something like that. It doesn't have to look exactly like this one, but we'll get it as close as we can. I'm going to put black in the middle. Oops. There we go. And that's going to be the screen, and save it. And just for the moment, I'm going to go up to another level, and I want to make a screw. And so I'm going to black for the stroke, white for the fill. I'll come down to about 2. I might even make that smaller soon. Go up a bit bigger. Draw a little circle here. Can resize these things later. Just get a sense of it there. And I'm right away going to convert that to a symbol. I'm going to call it screw. And I'm going to go into it. And by doing this, it helps me to zero my lines. So I'm going to zoom in quite a bit more. You saw I created another layer just so I can be careful about this. Let's draw a little line there. I'll make that maybe 1. And I'll use the align tool here, just move it to the center. If I do that, nice and centered, I'm going to copy it, edit, copy, edit, paste in place, modify, transform. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. That's going to be my screw. And I mean, I can certainly put that down on the same layer. It doesn't really matter. Edit, paste in place. This is probably going to be too thick, so maybe even 1.5. Let's just try that. And I'll do that. And I'm going to make this a bit smaller. Modify, transform, scale, rotate. Maybe I'll make it 75. Now let's have a look at that and see what that screw is going to look like. That looks pretty good, actually, to me. And so, and I don't even mind that placement there. And so I'm going to call this layer screws. And I may be moving stuff around later, but just to stay organized for now, I'll come down a bit. And I am going to, do I want them on all four corners? Yeah, I guess I do. Okay, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Move this one down, somewhere around there. And I'll grab the two of them, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And we're just going to nudge these over to the other side. And just to give it sort of an industrial look with the screws and all. Okay, and we'll constantly have a look at it. And it may not be lined up perfectly or anything, but I'm pretty happy with that so far. All right, just constantly saving. And now I need a couple more design elements. I just put these little lines here. I don't know why, but we could do that as well. I'm going to come back down to the screen layer and try this, maybe 2. And I'm just going to draw it here for the moment. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. And let's just tap it over. Something like that, something like that. And then I'm going to copy, put on the other side. Yeah, it's just going to take a long time to do all the graphic stuff. But it's a lot of fun, you know, just to see it take shape. How's that look? I don't know if it looks like it's green, but it looks okay to me. All right, good stuff. What else do I need now for the screen? I got the screws, and you know, you can see it's a pretty thick line on the outside, and yeah, it's looking just fine. All right, so that's the screen, right? So at this point, I could convert all of that, and then, by the way, is that filled in? Filled in with white? Let me fill that in with white if it wasn't filled in. Yeah, so now that whole thing's filled in. I'm going to convert that to a symbol and call it screen. And I think maybe what I'll do is maybe I will drop those screws down onto that layer in case I need to move that around. Edit, paste in place. I can still call it screen. That's fine. I'll change the name from screws in a little bit as well. Now, I think the next thing I'm going to work on is these inputs over in the side. So, okay, so let's just do that. I'm going to come up to this layer. I'm going to call this inputs. Alrighty, so I'm going to grab the rectangle. I'm going to hold on to it, choose the Polystar tool. And in options, I'm going to switch this to 6-sided polygon. And I'm okay with white for the moment. And I'm drawing on a new layer, so I'm just going to drag this out. And something like that. And I think I'm going to make this 3 for the thickness of the line. And let me see how I did this. So I got 1 there. Okay, so I'm going to come out. So I'm going to go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And I'm going to modify the size of that. Come out like that. And I need a circle in the middle. So I'm just going to go to another layer. And I'm going to create a white circle in here, but I want to work quite a bit larger than that. Actually, the best way to do this to get it centered is I will grab it right now, actually. And actually, I think what I'll do is I'm going to put some white in this area here. So the whole thing is, there we go. Modify, convert symbol, call it input. And then I'm going to go right into it. On another layer, I am going to create a circle. I don't know, something like that. And if I like that, I want that all white and black outside of it. So I think that's good. So I'm going to copy that, or cut that, sorry, and put it on the lower level. And I'm going to fill this area with black. And, you know, I might decide to get rid of that stroke later. We'll see. And, okay, it's looking pretty similar. So now I want 4 screws. And I don't know for sure that that's the way that, you know, one of these 1/4-inch guitar jack type things would look like. But we're taking some liberties. I'm going to grab the screw from the library. I'm on another layer. And I'm going to come up. And this is going to go in the black. And let's see if I can, whoops, center that. I'll go here and I'm going to make this significantly smaller. Scale and rotate, try 75. I'm going to go one more time, 75. 75, that looks good enough. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. I'm going to move it to the other side. Okay, good. And I'm just going to grab another one and I'll center it with the line. That's good. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and I'll bring it down roughly in the middle there. And we'll see how that looks. Might be a bit big. Let's go zoom out a little bit and have a look at the other one. That's basically what it is. I might have to change the thickness of this stroke. So I got the screws on that level, and I got just artwork on that level. That's fine. I mean, I could come in here and make this, yeah, that's 3. I don't want it 3, I want it 2. I think that looks a little bit better. You know, so there would be, you know, if I want 2 of them side by side, maybe I do need to make it, say, 80%. Let's see what that looks like. I could probably fit 2. Okay, but we're going to do a little bit more because I've got this sort of LED-like thing in there, so I'm just going to quickly make that. I'm going to put it right, I think right in the symbol, so I'm going to come back in, and I'm just going to go to another layer, and zoom in again, maybe 400 even. My eyes are getting older, so, okay, I'm going to grab circle tool. I'll stick with a black stroke, and I'll go choose red here, and maybe this needs to be 1. I'm just going to draw a little circle off to the side, nothing too big, something like that, and I can move this in a bit. And I am going to put a little white dot in it to give a bit of a shine to it. I don't want any stroke, just a fill. Just see if that's going to be too small. Did I get something there? Oh, that might be just fine. Let's try it right about there. You know, from a distance, it kind of looks like a little glowing LED. And the whole thing might be a bit small, so I'll just make it a little bit bigger. Let's try that. Maybe even a bit bigger than that. Oh, that might be too big. Ah, good enough. That's good. That's good enough. Okay. So I would have that. Let me see. Yeah, let's see what happens when we zoom out and we duplicate it like that. We got a couple of them there. Yeah, and just for fun of it, I can call this, I could duplicate this, call this input 2, and come back in here and grab that color there and change it to, you know, something else. So just to give it a little bit of color. So that's looking good. And saving it all the time. I come up here, and some other design elements are just to add this stuff here, left and right, as if it's, I don't know, stereo inputs of 1/4-inch jacks coming out of your guitar effects or whatever. So I'll go to another layer just to do this. I'll choose black, and I will go. Let's try hairline. Drop that down. I'll zoom in, of course. Drop it across, and I think now I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay, that looks all right. So I'm just going to grab this and pull it across. And okay, yeah, it's almost centered actually, as it is, like that maybe. And below that, I'm going to do some text here. I'm going to use Arial Black and just see. This is going to be L. You certainly don't want it in green though. Left. Let's see, whereabouts I put that. I'll just drag another one out here and try right. We'll just see what that looks like. Or do I want to write the full words? Let's see. Okay, I think I need the words. No, I didn't, and I put them in the wrong spot too, didn't I? Yeah, it looks better up here. Okay, so left. I'll actually grab that one, pull it across. It'll be at the same height. And I'll go R. I'll get rid of this guy. Oops, I'll get rid of that one. Let's get rid of those. How's that looking? Left and right, yeah, and I think I've got the word inputs underneath there, do I? Yeah, inputs, okay, cool. So let's grab this and bring it to there. Let's bring it down. I'm not, this is not exactly centered or anything like that, but just for fun. Inputs. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You know what? Maybe I'll make that a symbol just for the fun of it. I'll call that input text. And I can even really take that and put it on the inputs layer as well if I want. Edit, paste in place, and then I got it. And then I got everything. Save it and have a look. Doesn't look too bad. Let me just see how much it looks like the original one. Yeah, they're tucked in a little bit. Okay, I am going to fix that. Okay, I want it to look a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those two things. I'm just going to tab them in just till sort of lined up with that edge. And then if it's connected, I can get rid of that. I'll do the same on this side. I'll just tab it in until it's roughly lined up with that. Delete that. See how that looks. You know what? No one's gonna care. So let's go with that. Great. Looks cool. I like it so far. Okay. Let's zoom out a bit and see what's next. So we got the inputs. They might be a little bit high, actually. I might move that text down a bit. Let's do the XLRs now. Okay, so that's for connecting your high-quality microphone, dynamic or condenser microphone, as opposed to the 1/4-inch jacks. We're going to do some XLR inputs, so I'll actually call this XLR. I realize that they are inputs nonetheless, but we're going to do those things now, and they will go under here. And I may need to move the screen up a bit, so I'm going to come back to, not that, I'm going to go to circle, and I'm okay, I think just with the stroke for the time being. I think I'm going to want these probably 3 to start with, and let's zoom in a little bit, and just have at her. So I'm going to do a big circle like that, yeah, big circle like that. And let's see how I did this. I got an outer ring and an inner ring with the circles. So, okay, well, let's try going out first. So I copied and pasted that, and then I'm just going to modify the outer ring. Let's try going out like that. Let's try filling this in black. And, I might get rid of that. And then I'm going to draw another circle. This one's going to be white. I'll keep the stroke on it so I can see it for the moment. And I realize that I don't want to do that. And the best thing I think I can do is I'll turn this into a symbol right now. And of course I'll fill some white in there as well. So I'll turn this into a symbol. modify convert symbol. I'll just call it XLR. And I'll go into it to make the actual input spots. Make a circle here, not too big, not too small. I'll probably be getting rid of the stroke. I think I will. And I'm going to center that and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say that was 4. So if I go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it might have been 5 actually. I do that. I'll just grab another one and I'll center it and I'll bring it down. Now, it might look a little bit different than my original. Yeah, I think they're too spread apart for the proper connections. So I'm gonna go 1 and in. So down and over and in a bit. And how does that look compared to the original? It's pretty close, good. So I got that. We need the LED in there and we need the name. So what I'm going to do, I didn't save the LED as a symbol on the inputs, but I'm just going to grab it anyhow. So I'm going to come over here and there it is, edit, copy, come back into my XLR on a new layer and go edit, paste and center. I'll just bring it over and see what that looks like. Okay, compared to the original, maybe those LEDs are a bit big. I'm okay with it though. Okay, the whole thing might be a bit too big. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to shrink this down. Let's try 75. Yeah, looks fine to me. I mean, it might be a bit weird that your 1/4-inch jack is bigger than your XLRs, but I don't know that that's a big problem. I didn't label them XLR, I just did mic. So let's do that. So let's say I've got this and I'm relatively happy with it. Then let's just go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 20. Is that going to be decent spacing? Yeah, I think that's good. Let's do that again. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Line up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's probably a better way to do that. Yeah, looks good. I like it. All right, so I'm going to grab all of these and sort of center them by eye, you know, with respect to the, I can't tell, with respect to that thing there. And below that, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to set that to hairline, and I'm going to go from here. And, you know, these graphics are just for fun. I don't know how exactly how realistic it is, but it, you know, it ends up looking good. You know, something for the eye to look at, and it looks kind of like an audio interface, and that's good enough, right? That's good enough, and that's good enough too. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. Now let's try caps. Oops. Mic 1, just like that. We'll make it black text. We'll just see how that looks. You know, and we'll roughly center it underneath that circle there. Mic 1. Okay, it's a little bit too close to the line though. Tiny bit too close to the line still. Maybe I'll make the blue line line up with that line. That looks fine. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm not going to tab this over. I'm just going to drag it. That'll be mic 3 input, mic 4 input. Again, I can line these up better if I want after. And I might even want to put a space actually between here. It might look better like that. Let's check it out. Save it, see if it looks good. How about that? I think that's looking pretty good. I might need to move the whole thing up a tiny bit, but I don't know. You know, for now it's not bad. Okay, so far so good. So that's the XLR stuff. Let's zoom out and have a look at what would be a reasonable thing to do next. So I got all this, and I got those things. All right, let's quickly do a little sort of like a power button, whatever, which is not operational. You could press on that and have that start the whole quiz if you wanted to. But we're just going to do normal rectangles and, I don't know, a little bit of shading or whatever, something to fill in here. So I'm going to go on another layer, and I'm going to call this power button. Don't need to do it like that, but I'm doing it like that. And choose a rectangle. I don't want any corner radius on that. I will zoom in. And this is not going to be very fancy at all. I'll make it white inside. And black stroke of, I'm going to start with 3 and see how that looks. So I got it there. Whoops. I'm going to come down a bit and just have a quick look at what I did. Okay, so we'll have screws in there, and then we'll have another rectangle for the button. So what I'll do is I'll grab this. You know what? I think I want it a bit bigger, a little bit wider and taller, so that I can, I'll fill, so I can grab this. And that, of course, changes the stroke. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and I'll bring this in a little bit, both ways, and get it kind of even. That's pretty good. And let's fill this with black, and then we'll do something to it. Yeah, I might even need to go out a bit. And now I am not the greatest artist, as I'm sure you have already seen, but I am going to try, and this may take a couple of tries here, just with my limited skills, to do some, you know, shading and stuff like that. And that might be too bright, but, you know, from a distance, yeah, it's a little bit bright. So I want to veer away from using too many colors in this. Let's just see, though, if I can get it to look marginally like a reflection. And, you know, look, if you're a graphic artist and you know that what you're supposed to do, I am not. I'm just doing stuff for the fun of it. You know, this could maybe come down a bit. Maybe I will pull it down a bit. I like it, though. All right. Okay, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Let me start by calling it power button. And I'm going to go into it. And like I said, I might need to widen this in order to fit those screws. And I think I'm going to, actually. I'm just going to do this. And now I'm going to fill the rest of that with white. Make sure that it's all filled in. Okay, great. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to grab those screws. And put one there. Make them quite a bit smaller. Scale and rotate. I'll go 60. That's still too big. Modify, transform. I'll even go another 60. Okay, just really tiny screws, just so you see something there. Okay, something like that. Grab the two of them. Whoops. And copy them over to that side. And let's see how that's looking. Yeah, it looks a bit wide, actually, to tell you the truth, compared to the last one. What's going on here? Let's have a closer look at this one. Yeah, they were just smaller screws, but actually it's not that far off. You know what I'll do? Maybe, nah, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I think it's going to be just fine. The only thing is, I might actually make this whole thing a little smaller. Just like that. Yep, that's what I'm going for. Okay, and do I need something that says power? Okay, and I'll put that right in the symbol. Okay, you'll notice I'm not naming my layers here. I usually do that. I'm usually pretty organized with that stuff, but I'm not doing that here. Just to save a bit of time, and that's all right. Now the only thing is, because I shrank that, I may have some issues with my font sizes. Might not all be the same, but that looks good to me. And compared to the original, you know, not too bad. I've got a little bit of green in there. I could certainly put that in, but I'm really digging the black and white. Okay, that's great. So what comes next? We're going to need a next button. So let's. Now, I mean, I messed around with this for a while. I was just not happy. This one is an animated button, so let's just go ahead and try something. I'm going to go on to another layer, using lots of layers. I could compress some of these layers later on. I want 0 corner radius. I want black, and I'm just going to turn this off. And I realize I sort of repeat myself, start filling in white later on anyhow. But I don't know, sometimes I just like to start with just the stroke. So I'm going to have that, and I'm just going to do what I always do. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And I'm going to make this bigger. The outside, and I mean, I guess I have multiple layers of that. Maybe I'll go one more. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place for that outer kind of lip. Something like that. And of course I'll be using screws again. Now, the inside's black, the outside's black. So what I ended up doing, I think, was coloring this black and then coloring the stroke white. I believe that's what I did. And coloring that one black. And okay, and then there's just some design elements. But what we'll do right now is we'll call this. Let's put white in here for the moment. So I've got the whole thing. Let's call this next button. And I'll call the layer next button. And this will be obviously an animated structure here, animated graphic. Now, let me just go ahead and I'm going to do the arrow. And I believe it's in white. So I'm just going to make a square. Oops. Yeah, that's the problem with this. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, I'll make it black for now so I can see it. Oops, any color is fine. Just going to drag that in until it snaps. And I'm going to rotate this. So it's like that. Now I'll make it white. And I'm going to bring it in here and center it. And maybe nudge it over a bit. I think that is a bit big, so I'm going to transform, scale, and rotate 85 maybe. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It doesn't exactly look centered, so I'm just going to do that. And wow, that's a big looking button. Okay, I might actually make it smaller later. I just want to come up, and I guess I got some screws in there and a couple of other things. Do I have that black layer? Black, what am I? Yeah. Okay. It's just the arrow there, right? I can actually put the arrow on that same layer. It doesn't matter. Let me doing some stuff here though. I think what I'm going to do is make this a bit smaller. I have some white stuff out there. Yeah, let's delete that. Make that a bit smaller. Actually, I like that. I might like that better. I might want to leave it like that. I wonder if I can get screws in there. Or I wonder if I can take all of this. Wait, no, not that. That, there. And this, and this. Oops. Yeah, I got a couple fragmented layers, but. Oh, because there's strokes. Oops. Didn't want to do that. I wonder if I can make that just a little bit bigger. You know, so a bit of room to put some screws in. It also kind of looks, but I think it's an illusion that the top is not as wide as that. So I think I'm just losing my mind here. So I'm going to try this again. If it all fails, use some screws. Let's just try doing it by hand. Oops. Just the tiniest things in there, a little pop of white. You probably won't even see it. Just like that. And bring one over there. Yeah. And bring them down. Yep. I like it. This is probably too thick. Let me just have another look at the other one and see if it's, you know what, it's kind of similar, and that's the idea. So let's take this and see if I can make this, yeah, 3. That's too much. Try 2 and see if that's even too much. You know what? Actually, I do want to try 1, and I just want to see if I like the looks of it better. I kind of do, and I also kind of think the button is a bit big, but we're not going to worry about it because we could be here all day. Now, let's see what we got. We got screws on that layer. Just to keep track, here I will. Now, this is going to be a depressible button, so I am going to start making an actions layer, and I'm going to say stop at that point. And I just want another frame. It's just going to be 2 frames, F5 to create a frame. I'm going to copy and paste that over there, drag it over there, and I'm going to put another keyframe there. And at that spot, I'm going to take all of this, and I am just going to shrink it down. Modify, transform, scale and rotate. Is that 85? That might be a little bit much. Modify, transform, scale and rotate. Or is that 65? Can't read it from here. Let's try 90. Let's just try that. Now, yeah, okay, let's fill this with black right here. Good. So my animation would be like this. There. And then depressed would be there. There. And there. So that's good. Okay, now. I am going to call this, do I need to call it anything? I don't think I do actually, because I'm going to be putting some code on it. In fact, I'm going to try it right now. So right on the button, I'm going to hit F9 to go to actions, and I'm going to say on press. For now, I just want to test the animation. So I'm going to go this dot go to and stop frame 2 of this animation. And then I'm going to say on release. This dot go to and stop 1. And we'll check it. Did I make any mistakes? No. Save it. And it'll do that. Okay. Now, this button is a huge button. I think it's too big. All right. So I just want it a bit smaller, I think. So let's try that 90. That might be much better. Look at that. That's fine with me. Kind of bounces back up. I like that. You could do put little things on the button itself. Now, did I label that at all? Next, yeah. So let's come in here. That's you know, this is my button. I'm just gonna go BTN, and I'll just go above that, and I'm gonna write in next. And, you know, really, if I was doing this on my own, because I make games for students and I come back and modify them, I'd name my layers. But that's looking great. All right, doesn't do anything yet, but we're certainly getting there. Okay, so, you know, lock everything up. Save all the time. Lock it, save it. You know, I just Control S without even thinking about it. You know, it still might be a little bit big compared to the original diagram, but that's fine. let's start messing around with some colors. Let's do some cool stuff. All right, let's get this to not that gray, the medium gray there. And let's now come into the body of our, oh, I didn't save the body, eh? All right, it's time to save the body. All right, I don't have body as a, okay. Modify, convert symbol, body, good. Let's go into the body, lock that layer, that's the main body, and let's come, underneath, grab a circle, no stroke, and zoom out a bit, and let's just draw some kind of shadow like that. Okay, oh, we didn't need the stroke on. Is there a stroke? Odd. Okay, there, check that out. Now it's starting to look, like a real interface, right? It's starting to look quite cool, to me at least, anyhow. Okay, great. Now, what's next? Well, if we come back to this one, we've done that, we've done this, we've done that. We'll have some text up there, headphones, USB. Well, for the USB is really easy, so let's do that. Inputs, anywhere you want. I'll call this USB. Just because it's a USB-powered device, when you plug it into your computer, the light would come on and show you that it's on. For that, I am just going to go to one of my inputs, and I'm grabbing that. It was still selected there. Copy. Let me lock that up. And onto my USB layer. Edit. Paste in center. And bring that over here. And what I'm going to do is just grab this stroke. Edit. Copy. Edit. Paste in place. Expand it so it looks a little bit like a, I don't know, inset into the thing. And I'll mess around with the thickness of that layer, and we'll see if that's the right thickness or the wrong thickness. And why not? Modify, convert symbol. I'm just going to call it USB, and I'll go into that and on another layer. I like to do it on another layer. I'll go USB, and that's it. That kind of thing. I'll center this out. Or, whoops, that kind of thing. Yeah, that doesn't look centered to me at all. Okay, whatever. Something like that. And come down here. So I got it all together, and there's my little USB button. And I don't think I like the darker ring out there. I think it's a little bit too much. Oops. So I think I'm going to make that just one. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, there's your little, light that shines when the thing is activated. Just reusing graphical elements all the time. Some consistency. All right, let's see. All right, so let's see what's next. Let's give this volume control a shot. There's a whole bunch of circles. I might forget what I did, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot anyhow. All right, so come up here. We'll go above the power button here. Turn on the stroke again. Black. We'll turn off the fill. And we're going to be going up in this area here. Grab a circle. It's going to go roughly around there. That's going to be the little center area. I guess I will fill that in black. And I'll grab this stroke, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And we'll come out a ways. I don't remember how far I did actually. Oh yeah, close one. Okay, so we'll make that a little closer. Make that a little closer here. We'll go like this. And then we'll copy it again. And we'll come out further this time. We'll put those little notches. Okay, again, it's not going to look exactly like the original, but that's fine. We'll go with 2 for now. Let's go ahead and call that volume. Okay, we'll go into it, and I will fill this with white. White. I don't know if that one's filled with white or not. So that's filled with white. Okay, we'll come up to another layer, grab the line tool, zoom in even more, draw a little notch, and it's possible that that will have to be 1. See how visible that is, and I'll center that. Oops, I always hit both of those. Okay, put that right around there. And we'll go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Bring it down below, try to get roughly in the middle. Grab the whole thing, edit, copy, edit, paste in place, modify, transform, 90. And we'll do it again, edit, whoops, not cut. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place, modify, transform. Now we'll go to scale and rotate at 100, but 45 degrees. And I should have grabbed the whole thing. You know what? I'm going to grab the whole thing, and it's just easier. Okay, all of them. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place, modify, transform, scale and rotate, 45. There we go. How does that look so far? Okay, so those notches, they don't look bad actually at that size, but let me just try to and see what they look like at 2. I can always do a intermediate. Yeah, I'm gonna try 1.5. Looks good enough for now. Okay, we're obviously not done. So we got the notches, we got that, we'll put the dot, we'll put an outer ring. So maybe I will make this, or we'll just, I'll leave those there for now. And we'll grab that, we'll go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. We'll do one more. Sort of outer ring, not too far. Let's try hairline, just to see if it looks a little bit inset, sort of. Okay, just considering we're just going in white and black. And we'll come up here, and we'll get rid of the stroke and a circle. And we'll draw a little dot here. And I don't even know if that's like a, you know, a depression or a highlight or what. It just looks kind of cool. It looks a little bit shiny almost. And let's come up one more time, and you know, I think that's kind of it. All right, and seeing while we're already inside it, we'll put some text in there. Call it volume. Am I doing it all caps? Volume. Make it black. And I'm not sure if I want that centered below or off to the side. Let's see what I did up here. Yeah, I did do it below, didn't I? Okay, well, we've got that, and we can position it wherever we want. Let's zoom out a bit and look at it. Yep. Okay, I could change the size of that if I wanted to. Let's do the headphones thingamajig. I just messed around with that. I don't really know what I did. A bunch of circles. It's always a bunch of circles. Okay. This though, we'll label this as volume. Like I said, I may compress some of these layers and put all the symbols on the same layer that aren't animated, but for now I like to keep them separate. So let's come up here, choose black, choose nothing. I like to go up a little bit higher. And this is going to be a bit smaller, sort of that mini plug or 1/8 inch thingamajig. Let's make this solid. Let's leave it like that for now. Actually, we will fill it with white. Okay, so we got that. Edit, copy, and paste, and a little bit bigger. And I know I did another one, but I think I may have made this hairline. Was it black and then a big thick one on the outside? Let's try that and see how that looks. Let's try 2. Yeah, that kind of looks like it. Good enough. Modify, similar. Headphones. Label it headphones. Still got all the coding to do, and the coding's not too bad. Oops. You know, I might as well put white, you know, in these things if I haven't already. Let's come up. Caps. Oops. Now this one, where did I did it above. Doesn't really matter, but something like that. Yeah, something like that. Let's say grab that. Just move this one down a bit. Yeah, it's coming along pretty nice. We're getting close to the animated stuff. It might be a little bit too far, but we'll see. So I got to do the big dial and then the EQ here. Okay, so what should we do next? Let's do the EQ. EQ. And grab this. We're going to do a rounded rectangle of, let's try 15. I suppose I could leave it white for now. I'm just going to draw it right here and see. Oh, that's too much. So let's go to 8 or something. Again, it may not look like the original very much. Okay, so we got that, and then white, and then black. Okay, so I can compress this. Got white in there already, good. Okay, so I'll grab that, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And I am going to expand this, not too much, but a little bit. Something like that, and white is going to go in there. And then I think I'm doing it again. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And I'm expanding it again. Oops. Get it a bit more even. And I want to go up here and have a look. Yeah, that might have been too much white space. Oh yeah, there's a rectangle, eh? I think what I want to be doing, let's get rid of that. Let's already save that. Modify, convert symbol. Call this equalizer. Now, this is going to be animated, and so I need to give this an instance name. So I'll call it equalizer down there. And I'm going to come in, and on another layer, I am going to draw a solid black rectangle, I believe. I believe that's how I did it. We'll start with that. Sorry, bring it underneath. And solid black rectangle with a stroke outside of it and the screws. Okay, so let's see if I can zero this, center it. Looks pretty good. Is there a stroke on there? Nope. So I'll put a stroke on there, and then I'll expand the stroke. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And we'll make this 1 for now. Let's see how that's looking. Let's just move it out of the way a little bit. Actually looks a bit small to me. But we'll have to see how it all positions out with that major dial in a bit. It's coming along. How does that one look? Not too far off once I do the other stuff. So let's go back in. And that's that layer. On this layer, I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to draw a cross here. Yeah, fill that in with black. Don't particularly need this stroke anymore. So I got that. Let's see if that's going to be enough to fit some letters in. It might not. So what I'm going to do actually, then keep that line and bring it up a little bit more, and then fill the block in here like that. And I'll get rid of that. And we'll go ahead and we'll try and fit some letters in here. So what I did here is I go in white. I will go capitalize true. Yeah, that might work. True there. We'll just drag it across and put a false there, and then we'll just see how big those letters are and see if it's readable. Not bad, not bad. Let's just lower these. Okay, how's that? Okay, true or false, that's good. Let's, call this text if I want. Oops, text. Let's come up here though on another layer, and let's grab those screws again. Always going back to those. And let's just do it by hand. Shrink them down quite a bit. Put one there. Oops. Drag it over. Something like that. Drag them down to the other corners. Did I shift them? What happened here? I may have moved them over. I keep moving them over. All right, I'm just going to copy them. Edit, paste, in place. Maybe they were fine in the first place. Check that out. Yeah, it just gives it a little touch, whatever, of something. And now, okay, now it's time to do a little bit of coding. So let's make an actions layer here. And that screws. I think we need another layer called labels so that we can refer to that. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm going to say stop. And okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make these bars that go up and down. And so I'm just going to give myself a bunch of frames here. And we can just F5 to create frames. Don't want to do anything with those right now, but just above here. And I'm going to choose block and no stroke and rectangle. And I'm going to draw like a little bar there. All right. And sort of line it up. Go on down here. And, okay. Now, I want to go, say, up to 15. Put another keyframe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these go up and down. And now, let me put a motion tween in there. And at that point, let's bring the point down. Let's bring this one down. And I got to admit that I have trouble with this. It doesn't always work for me. So I'm going to bring this down just to there. And I'm going to see, it worked first time. Now, obviously, that can't be there. So what I'm going to do is I'll bring this, I think before I had it underneath. What have I got here? Is that white? Yeah, that's white. And the black is, what layer is that on? That's on that layer, right? Well, I really could do just this because it's black. As long as it doesn't touch there. And then it looks like it comes up in behind. And I can go up as high as, as high as you want. Let's say you want her up to there. All right, so true is going to be like that. And what we're going to do is I want it to come back. And so I'm going to take this. I'm at 15, and I'm going to copy that frame out to frame 30. And remove the tween there and put motion tween there. And it should go up and come down. Okay. And I'm going to grab that stop, drag it to frame 30, and at frame 30 I'm going to say go to and stop 1. I'm going to go back to the original position. Ready to start again, save it. Now that's going to be the animation when I hit true. So on the labels I'm going to go with the second frame right as the animation starts, and I'm going to write in here true. And that means when the answer is true, it's going to go to true, and it's going to play, and then it's going to go back to 0, ready to do it again. Now I see that I got a bunch of extra keyframes in there. Save that. Okay, now this is, I'm going to call this true bar. And I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to call it false bar. And I'm going to copy these frames, paste these frames, and then move them down to like there, somewhere around there. So now that's where it ends. So I don't need these frames anymore. Remove that, and I need frames there. So I can hit F5. Yeah, I got an extra one. Remove that. Okay, now after that plays, I'm going to come to this part, and that's going to say go back to 1. Now, obviously, this is lying right on top of where it was. So, okay, we can move that now. So I'm going to, for each of these keyframes here, I'm going to tap them over. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. And I'm going to put another frame label, but not right where the false animation starts. 1 in, F6, and I'm going to call this false. Cool. Save. And so now, when it's false, it's going to go up there. And when it's true, it's going to go up there. So we are really doing well. So I think that's it for that. And so I've got that already referenced. So, we could, no, we're not ready to give it a try. What am I saying? Let's go back in here actually and come up here and write EQ somewhere. Okay, caps EQ. And whether or not I put it below or to the side, I don't know if it matters. And that's what that would look like, and that'll animate in a little while. So we're really getting somewhere. Whole thing is probably going to be a little bit in the way of almost our final design element, I guess, is that circle there. So we'll see. It's looking a little different than that one, and I got that off to the side, and I might want to put that off to the side as well. And if I really wanted to, I could line up this text, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I want to have a look at our big thingamajig here. Try to remember how I made that. All right, so it's a bunch of circles, and we're just gonna go to it. All right, so that's EQ, and this thing I called the true false zone. I don't know why I could have called it true false dial or something. So I'm going to come out here and go black for my stroke, and I'm not going to put a fill on right now. I'm going to go up to 3 again, but I probably will be playing around with that. And I'm just going to draw a bunch of circles. And this was just trial and error for me, and so I have no idea if I can recreate the exact same thing, but maybe it'll be fun if I don't. So I got some kind of center thing, and already I forget. And then another thing, another ring, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Don't worry, we're going to get some coding here soon, although we have already done a little bit, I guess. I believe this guy here in the middle was black, and I don't necessarily need that stroke. And that might be too small. Oh, you might hear my dogs. Abby. I'll make that 2. Edit, copy, edit. Oops. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Sorry about that if you heard my dog barking there. I don't know if what I did here. Yeah, okay. Let's edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Now, likely this is the big wig, but let me check it out again. Yeah, sort of big anyhow. It doesn't have to be the exact same size. So that's where I'm going to do that intermediate stuff there. And I'm going to need a couple more circles as well. So I'm going to go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. I'm going to do another one here. And I think this is going to be my dash line. So just for the time being, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go edit, copy, edit, paste in place. I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to make this a bit thicker. And let's just see if we're getting close to that thing. Okay, that one. And then there's another one, isn't there? Okay, well, let's just do that. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And I think I made that one quite thick. Actually, I probably didn't do it with like that. I probably filled in some spaces. So at any rate, I'm going to fill in some of this stuff with white. Okay, so now let's grab the whole thing, modify, convert symbol, and call this TF zone. And I am going to call this TF zone, give it an instance name as well. And now we're ready to cut this up and do some of this stuff. And it's looking something like the original. Okay, so yeah, the way I did this, I think, if I can remember, is I drew a line down through here. Oops. So let's grab that, make this a solid, just make it 1, and we'll center it out. I think I did that. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place, modify, transform 90 degrees. And that's going to be it, right? It's just this 4. Okay. And now, edit, cut. We'll paste it on the original layer so that we can select regions. I made it black. So I will do that. Make that black, make that black. Keep those other ones as white. And is that all I did? I think so. So I think I can now get rid of those lines. And I also got rid of that. Oops, not that, and that. and that outer stroke there. All these little pieces. Not that, but doesn't really matter. I could fill that in again. Let's zoom in anyhow. Let's get rid of that. That's fine. That. And that. I think I got rid of those too. I'll check that out. No. Okay, so far so good. And I'll lock that up. And on another layer, I'm going to draw just a white dot. Turn off the stroke. Make this white. And zoom in a little bit more. And I don't think I was too particular about where I put it. I think I just drew it and dragged them over, and I did some white dots there. And then I drew one over. I dragged one over here. I think I did it like this. Made this one black, and that one black. Just that kind of thing. You know, something like that. Anyhow. Okay. Now, I am going to paste that layer down. Edit, because I want this whole thing to be moving soon. Edit, paste in place. All right, now, here's where it gets interesting. Actions, and we're going to have labels. All of that. I'm going to put a stop up here. Okay, now let me see how I did this. All that stuff is going to move, right? Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick look at how I coded that and how I separated it out into different layers here. True false zone. The wheel. What's this part? Just the outer part. So what rotates? All of that rotates. So the wheel up to that stroke. Let's see where that stroke is. Just that outer one. And that stroke is on the wheel layer. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, that'll probably be fine anyhow. Okay, so what I need to do then is, yeah, I remember doing this. Sorry, my dogs. Abby, go upstairs, please. Edit, cut. I'm gonna put that on this on another layer. Edit, paste in place. I'll just put it below. That's fine. And I'm gonna call this wheel. And now I am going to make this thing rotate. So just give myself some frames and say, actually, I think I went to about 15 for the going around. So I'm going to grab this frame or keyframe, pull it out to there, and I am going to go create motion tween. I want clockwise for that, and that's going to go clockwise to there. And the two frames should be the same and went clockwise. Great. Okay. So I'm just going to grab the stop and bring it over to there. Save it. And I'm going to change that to say go to and stop. Oops. 1. So we can go right back to the beginning. Ready to roll. And that's good. Now, for my labels, I'm going to put on the second frame of the animation, F6, create keyframe, and I'm going to say true. So if it's true, play that animation and turn clockwise. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from 15 to 30, F5 for some keyframes. And there's my original. And that's fine. I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to go motion tween, and this time I'm going to go rotate counterclockwise, and it should go the other way. Good. And I'm going to grab that, drag it to there, which will say go back to the beginning. Excellent. And now I'm going to come to the second frame of the false animation where it goes counterclockwise, and I'm going to say false. And that is about it, if I've done it right. I've given it an instance name, and we're almost ready to test this out. So I am going to test this out. Actually, there's a name for this, isn't there? What's it called? It's true and false. Let's do the text before we do that. Let's go back in here and grab another layer and the text tool. I think I've been using hairline, and come down here, and I'm going to go just roughly to the outside of that, and across and up. And then what I can do is I can make sure they're the same height. I'll just crop off the top, and I think I'm going to select that and zoom in and make sure that they're connected. Oh, are we not zooming anymore? Is my computer maybe slowing down a bit? There we go. That's fine. Well, it's not quite fine. Okay, and I'll put the text on that same layer. We'll better see how I did that. I'm not sure how I did. So false. I'm going to position it underneath there. True, and I'll see if that's how I did it before, because I don't remember, but I think so. Around there. Let's zoom out and go see how we did it. So we put them underneath there that time, and that looks all right. Let's. So as you can see, it is a bit tight in there. And that's why I did that thing, whoops, with the EQ, where I put the text over on the side so I could, and I think I'm going to do that. Let's do something like this. It's a long tutorial, isn't it? Get it kind of close. And then, just something like that. And now this thing, just get it roughly equidistant between those two, but it's not a big deal. Okay. Well, we're doing really well. It doesn't look exactly like that one, but it looks pretty close. Pretty close. Okay, so how about this? TF zone. Okay, let's do it. On press this dot go to and play. Let's do true, as if the question was true. Let's give it a try. Okay. Now, I need to make sure that it's all filled in so it's easy to press. So I'm having some trouble if I press there. So I don't have any color in there, so it's not registering as part of the graphics. So I'm going to go in here, zoom in a bit. Oops. And yeah, right there. So I'm going to come into the graphic itself, and I'm going to put white in that little middle space there. We now have it. And so now it should be a little bit easier to press just anywhere in there, just generally go in there. So that's the true response, and I'll have to get this, of course, to work. So let's do that, actually. So let's say the question is true. So we say, on press this dot go to and play true, and root dot equalizer dot go to and play true. Put that in quotes. Save it, chest it. Now let's have a look down here. Well, it works. May not be timed exactly the same or anything. You know, maybe this could rotate a little bit slower and be equal time, but that's fine. So we have the basics of what we need. And so now we're going to actually start building the quiz. And I'm not going to spend too long doing that because this is already quite long. So we're going to come up here to the very top, and I'm going to go actions. I like to do it in capital letters just to make it look a bit different. And stop. So that's good. Now I need over here a layer which is going to be questions. This is going to be a little quiz. And so right here I am going to write in a question. This is going to be question 1. And we'll put it to the side. Do it about that big. Okay, and we'll increase the font size to, let's try 15. Okay, and let's just try doing something. So the first one's going to be true. Choose your favorite science topic. Let's do something about chemistry, atoms, and stuff like that. All matter is composed of tiny particles called atoms. That's not much of a question, but I actually think we need to increase the text size to maybe about 18, and that's probably good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Centered, okay, because we'll have more. Now, this is true, and so when that question shows up, the person would click on this, and it would be true. Let's go ahead and make some more frames for more questions. Now, I didn't compress all these symbols, and I don't think I'm going to, but the stuff that's animated that has to change, the EQ doesn't have to change, the true-false zone will change, the next button will change, and the questions. So here's what we do. Come to the next frame, select it all, press F5 to create new frames, and then just click and hold Alt and drag that over to copy it. Press this, click and hold, drag, press Alt, and drag it over. I'm going to do the same for the next button. I'm creating new sort of instances of those symbols. Do that. Okay, now if we look at the true-false zone, you can see that the instance name still exists on that second frame and on the first frame. Now, I'm not going to move these because I've got multiple frames. Okay, so let's go, and on the second frame, let's make a different question. Let's call this question 2, and let's make this one false. And let's say electrons are positively charged particles located in the nucleus, I'm trying to write too fast, of an atom. Let's say we do that. Okay, so I'm back after a little break. Sorry about that. I just want to see whereabouts we are. Okay, so we got question 1, and we can see that that was true. I kind of think that these bars are a little narrow, but you know, I might, you know, if I was doing this, I'd probably thicken them. But we got to get this next button going, and we got to get to the next question. So let's do that part right now. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the next button layer, and on the first frame where I got it selected, I'm going to go into the actions, and I said on press this go and stop 2. On release, this is where I want it to go back to its first frame, and I also want to say root go to and stop 2. So that's going to be frame 2 of the main timeline, and that's where the next question shows up. So let's see if it works. Okay, see the way it did that? And if I do it again, okay, I'm going to click on it and look over here. It's going to go to question 2. Now, it's not a very impressive animation. You could have it fade in and stuff like that, but for this tutorial, I'm not going to do that. So the next button works, and at this point, we want to press it, and this is going to be false. Right now, it's reading true, so let's make this say false. So here's what we do. On frame 2, oops, not for there, but for the true false zone, we come back here, we use the same symbol, and on the code we just change that and we say on press this dot go to and play false, and we want the equalizer to play false as well. And that's why we use those label names. Save that and let's try that. Okay, so question 1, true, and the equalizer says so, and this turns clockwise towards the true. You see, I don't really like the fact, although it's not bad, that I've got the text in with the symbol, because that means now you can click on anywhere here and it rotates, whereas I really wanted just a dial, but that's the problem with putting the stuff in the symbol. And I didn't have to do it, but it's really not a problem. I could even have the whole area. Anyways, never mind. Let's go to the next question. So I'm going to press the next button. Okay, question 2 should be false. Click on it, goes backwards, and it goes there. All right. I'll go on and I'll do one more question. I'll do another true one just so you can see how we do this, and that'll be pretty much it. So I'm going to create another bunch of frame, or another frame there, hit F5. The only stuff that I need to repeat is the stop, so I'm going to go press on Alt, drag it over, that copies it, and oh, I see that I've done a whole bunch of, I don't know what I did there. So I've got a bunch of keyframes here, so I want to get rid of these. So I'm going to select these, and I'm going to go clear keyframe. I want keyframe for that, that, and that. Okay, so that's good. So let's change the question now. And let's call this question 3. We want another true one, so let's say a negative ion is formed when a neutral atom gains one or more electrons. Period. Now, these are all two-lined questions, and if I needed to go to a third line and it wrapped too far down, I'd have to move this up a bit and go back and adjust the others. But we're good with that. This is going to be another true one, so the question is done. Let's go and work on, well, we'll do the true-false zone first. Okay, one thing at a time. This is the third question, so I'm going to click on it in the third frame. And I'm just going to change these to say true. So you can see once you've got it built up, you can just go, and just keep adding to it. Okay, so that's done, saved. Did that call the equalizer? Yeah, that called the equalizer. Okay, it's going to play true. Now, we got to go back and do something with these next buttons. In the first frame, the actions say go to frame 2, or all right, of the timeline. In the second frame, I want this next button to say, sorry if you heard my dog again there. In this frame, I want it to say, on release, this go to stop to. We could see that in the next button, I've got my action script here just for how the button depresses on that frame. If I come back to the first frame, I've got this root, go to, and stop frame 2. So that's on the first frame, and it'll go to the second. So on the second, I'm going to come into the next button and add down here, root, go to, and stop 3. And, oh, and I want to go back. No, I don't want to go back. I'm just going to go forward. And really on the third frame, let's say that was the end of the quiz. You could go to, to the end, but I'm going to make this say go back to the first frame. So we can go back to the very start. So I'm going to say root, go to, and stop 1. Save that. And unless I forgot something, I may have because I took a little break. Okay, question 1. Now, obviously, I don't have a title. I probably would put a title and, welcome to the quiz and tell them how to play. There's the first question, true. Question 2, this should be false. Spins backwards. We see the equalizer. Question 3 should be true, and it is, and it goes. And from there, we could go back to question 1. And it's true. So everything's cool. And that's really it for the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you found this entertaining and possibly useful for your students.